Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Budget Investing. So today I want to go over this crazy market crash that everybody seems to be talking about and what's actually going on. So I'll dive into that here right away for you, but first I'm going to just give you a quick update on my portfolio. I know it's been a little while. So overall, I've still been trending upwards in the long term. My unrealized gains are all the way up to $780, which is fantastic. I'm continuing to buy shares with my weekly contributions and with my dividends that I receive. Again, my favorite number that I like to look at is how much money would I be making per hour if I was doing this full time. So I'm up to 38 cents an hour, which is, I know, not anything crazy, but hey, it adds up over time. It's income coming into my pocket. I hit an all-time high in dividends last month with 36. That's the most I've ever received in a single month. And of course, across my portfolio, you can see I have a lot of really well-performing stocks. I've got a couple that are pretty underperforming as to where I'd like them, but only having 5 stocks that are in the negative out of my entire portfolio is awesome. Just goes to show me that I'm still in the green as an overall portfolio, and I know a few of mine are just in temporary little blips, and they will likely come back up. So this market crash, and it seems like everywhere I look online, everyone is complaining about how they're losing money like crazy. And if you look on the one-day chart of the S&P 500, things did go down a little bit. But if we zoom out a little bit, in the 5-day trend, okay, it's up. So what's going on? Same thing, 1-month trend, it's up 1.46%. If we go up to the 6-month trend, we're up 17%. We go out to a year, we're up 42%. So where's the disconnect? The entire economy seems to be going up, 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 up. Yet everywhere I look online, everyone's talking about doomsday and how they're losing all of this money and everything's disappearing. So what gives? So I'm going to use 3 different companies as an example as to what in the world has been going on in the economy. So first one, Palantir Technologies. Now, if you would have bought in at the all-time high back in January and just held to it today, you would have lost 52% of your total investment already. Now, that's a crazy amount of loss, and that's just heartbreaking, especially if you put in a large sum of money. This is just one example of what I'm trying to point out in the fact that this company got so much hype. There was so much information everywhere about it. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was buying it. And they could do no wrong. They had bad earnings, or they could have probably gone out and killed somebody, and everyone would have kept buying in because there was so much hype. They were going to change the future. Then when you dive into actually what their finances look like, you see that they have yet to make a profit, and their net income year after year has been going down. I get that they have a lot of amazing things that are potentially coming down the road, but they have yet to show that they are a profitable company that is great for the long term, for a long hold. They're just good for a quick buy and sell, and a lot of people are getting burnt on that. Example number 2, Canopy Growth Corp. So this is a company that's in the cannabis sector, which is a huge up and coming area potentially. As more states and countries continue to legalize, there's potential for a huge amount of money to be made here in the long term. But today, right now, with it still being illegal in so many places and on a federal level, it's struggling to do well. There's so much competition. There hasn't been one particular company that's jumped out and they've gone, hey, I'm the market leader in this area. If you would have bought in, again, at their all-time high, you'd be down 53% of your initial investment. That's an insane amount of losses. You wouldn't want that on any one of your holdings, as that's really hard to recover from. Again, we go down, we look at their financial report, and you can see year after year, they're losing more money than what they're actually making. So they're not set up for long term. They're still trying to get established. This is a very speculative company, just like Palantir. There's so much that needs to be figured out before these companies become stable. Yes, you could have made a lot of money if you timed your purchases appropriately. There's too much uncertainty with a company like this. And then we have example number 3, CRISPR Therapeutic Technologies. This company, again, So much hype about what they will hopefully be able to do in the future. Again, if you bought in at their all-time high back in January, you'd be down 51% of your portfolio. So I'm starting to kind of sound like a broken record here, but it's just the same thing. And if you look after all of hype stock after hype stock or hyped cryptocurrency, they have these huge influxes of people buying. The prices go crazy high. It seems like they can do no wrong. They're always on their way up. And then the momentum kind of just dies out. Things slow down a little bit. People keep buying in though because they're like, oh, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's just a dip. And then again, this company's not set up for long-term success. They didn't grow as quickly as their stock did, and now they underperform. And then the drop happens, and it continues to go down, and then everyone's in trouble. So no, the economy is not crashing. In fact, it's actually continuing to go up, and the S&P 500, the NASDAQ are continuing to hit all-time highs week after week, month after month, and things are continuing to go up. So if you would have just bought into the S&P 500 6 months ago, you'd be up 17% today. So how am I avoiding this potential crash that people keep talking about, and how am I avoiding these companies that seem to get all this hype and then crash shortly afterwards? I'm looking for companies that are continuing to grow but have strong underlying numbers that are paying me an ever-growing dividend. So example number one I have for you today is MasterCard. MasterCard has been growing year after year. If you look at their 1 year trend, they're up 29%. 5 years, 275%. And of course, there's dips that come along the way, but overall, it's just continuously going up. Then I'll take a look into this company's revenues, and you can see same thing with Costco. Their gross profit is continuing to grow year after year. You know, there might be dips here and there. They didn't continue their growth after 2019, but 2020 was a rough year, so that's understandable. But then you look into their expected profits already for 2021, and it's going to go back up. I'll then take a look into their dividend. Of course, MasterCard has a low dividend yield, but they do pay an ever-increasing dividend. They've been only paying at 22%, so that profits that they make, 22% of it gets paid right back to the shareholders. And for 5 years, they've been growing their dividend at a rate of 19%, and they've been growing their dividend for 10 years straight without any hiccups. That 19% growth rate is almost 3 times the growth rate of the entire economy. Again, the economy grows anywhere from 6 to 9% annually. So if I'm getting a 19% raise every single year just from holding MasterCard on top of their capital growth, that's just a mind-blowing amount of income for me that I don't need to worry about every night when I go to bed. Another fantastic example that I have for you is Disney. So everyone's heard of Disney. You know, you probably grew up watching their movies, or you've watched their Star Wars series, or maybe you have Disney Plus. Now, this company was obviously previously known for their theme parks and their movies. Now, because of the pandemic, they, like everyone else, has had to make these huge shifts, and they have started to move into more of a subscription-based service that they can share with everyone. So they put all this time in, they make one amazing movie, and then it gets to be watched 1,000,000 times by so many different people across the world for the rest of their life, as long as you pay your monthly fee to Disney to have that subscription. And they're expanding on that, and their number of subscribers is continuing to grow. And if you look at their subscription rate, like that number is just, it's been exponential. They're going up and up and up with every major release that they put out. They get more subscribers as more people hear about it, and there's just so much hype around them. But that hype is not unwarranted. That's one of the key pieces. When you look at their finances and you look at their fundamentals and at all the underlying numbers of Disney, they deserve this growth and they deserve the hype, but they're not crazy overvalued either. And that's really important. When you look at their actual price, it's not going up exponentially. It's just been a slow and steady increase as they're increasing their value. They're increasing that monthly influx of cash from their subscriptions. And as their parks reopen and movie theaters reopen, they'll get even more money coming in every single month. And you will see a big uptick in their value because their original revenue stream is going to return as more people get vaccinated and the world returns back to normal. So I'm looking for companies that have great underlying values. They are either undervalued currently, their finances look strong, and they're companies that are still growing and they're going to pay me dividends. That's the basis of my portfolio, is dividend growth investing, so that I'm always having that money coming in. Again, I'm not worried about any short-term dips, as these companies are positioned well in their sector and they have the underlying backbone to survive a dip, and they'll come back up and they'll do better. And even while they're down, it just gives me an opportunity to buy these companies at a lesser value so that I can continue to grow my portfolio year after year, quarter after quarter. I don't need to stress about the ebbs and flows of the economy, as I know these companies are going to continue to go up. I can sleep well at night, and in the long term, my money's going to be working for me, and I don't need to worry about it every single week. So if you enjoyed the content today, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, as I do really appreciate it, and I do hope to continue to grow this community that we have here. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.